Good morning, children. Today I am going to teach you chapter 6 from your supplementary reader entitled The Making of a Scientist. In this lesson, we are going to know and learn a life of a young boy who has become a famous scientist in future. How a book plays an important role in the life of children, that we are going to know. The book becomes a turning point in Richard E. Bright's life. So children, we must all have lot of interest in reading books. Reading a book is a wealth for us. Now, in page number 32, I am going to teach you the making of a scientist. In a rectangle box, it's given Richard E. Bright has received the Searle Scholar Award and the Scaring Plough Award for Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. It was his fascination for butterflies that opened the world of science to him. Read and find out. How did a book become a turning point in Richard E. Bright's life? How did his mother help him? That's what we are going to know from this lesson. At the age of 22, a former Scout of the Year excited the scientific world. A boy, a scout, made everyone surprised. The scientific world, entire scientific world become surprised with a new theory on how cells work. Richard H. E. Bright and his college roommate explained the theory in an article in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science. Actually, that is a scientific journal in which the theory has been explained by Richard H. E. Bright. It was the first time this important scientific journal had ever published the work of college students. So far, they were publishing only the article from the scientist. In sports, that would be like making the big leagues at the age of 15 and hitting a home run your first time at bat. In sports, sometimes very young age, like Sachin Tendulkar and all, making wonderful hit and creating a wonderful name. Like that, for Richard E. Bright, it was the first in a long string of achievements in science and other fields. That article appeared in the scientific journal. And it all started with the butterflies. You know, Richard E. Bright lived in the place called Pennsylvania. He loved butterflies and liked collecting butterflies. He also collected rocks, fossils and coins. And he was also interested in astronomy. And the very important thing, success, he got a woman, his mother encouraged him very much. An only child, E. Bright grew up north of Reading, is a place, Pennsylvania. There was not much I could do there, he said. I certainly could not play football or baseball with a team of one, but there was one thing I could do, collecting things. So he did. And did he ever? Beginning in kindergarten, E. Bright collected butterflies with the same determination that has marked all his activities. He also collected rocks, fossils and coins. As I told you earlier, he became an eager astronomer too. Sometimes gazing all night. He was watching the sky for whole night. From the first, he had a driving curiosity along with a bright mind. He also had a mother who encouraged his interest in learning. So mother's guidance is very important in his life. Mother took him on trips, bought him whatever he wanted, telescopes, microscopes, cameras, mounting materials and other equipment, and helped him in many other ways. I was his only companion until he started school, his mother proudly said. After that, I would bring home friends for him, but at night we just did things together. Richie was my whole life after his father died. It's a statement of his mother. Richie was my whole life partner after his father died. When Richie was in 3rd grade, father died. She and her son spent almost every evening at the dining room table. If he did not have things to do, I found work for him. Not physical work, but learning things, his mother said. He liked it. He wanted to learn. And then he learned so many things. And learn he did. He earned top grades in school. On everyday things he was just like every other kid, his mother said. By the time he was in the 2nd grade, Ebright had collected all 25 species of butterflies, different butterflies found around his hometown. Now, in your book, you can see the following box. In the rectangle box, as given the 25 different names: gossamer, winged butterflies, wood nymphs and satyrs, brush-footed butterflies. I am not reading all the 25. Go through all the 25 different species, different varieties of butterflies. You go through in your book. Okay. And the paragraph below the box, that probably would have been the end of my butterfly collecting, he said. But when my mother got me a children's book called The Travels of Monarch 10, that is the book name, that is the book changed his life. That is, Monarch 10 is a variety of butterfly. That book, which told how monarch butterflies migrate to Central America, opened the world of science to the eager young collector. So he was very much eager after reading the book that is titled The Travels of Monarch 10. At the end of the book, readers were invited to help study butterfly migrations. They were asked to tag butterflies for research by Dr. Frederick A. Urquhart of the University of Toronto, Canada. Ebright's mother wrote to Dr. Urquhart, and soon Ebright was attaching light adhesive tags to the wings of monarchs to do the research, as it was mentioned in the book. Anyone who found a tagged butterfly was asked to send the tag to Dr. Urquhart, by which he could understand the migration distance of the butterflies. The butterfly collecting season around reading in the place lasts 6 weeks in late summer. See the graph given below. If you are going to chase them one by one, you won't catch very many. So the next step for Ebright was to raise a flock of butterflies. That is what his next step. He would catch a female monarch, take her eggs and raise them in his basement through their life, just going through their life cycle. In order to see the life cycle, he decided to catch a female butterfly, and from egg to caterpillar to pupa to adult butterfly. He was studying the life cycle of butterfly. Then he would tag the butterflies' wings and let them go to study their migration. For several years, his basement was home to thousands of monarchs in different stages of development. Now, here the graph is given Number and kinds of butterflies collected in 6 weeks, that is given here. Gossamer, winged, wood nymphs and satyrs, brush-footed, whites and sulphurs, monarch, and snout. Their kinds of butterflies in one side and number of butterflies collected is given. Please see the graph given there. Eventually, I began to lose interest in tagging butterflies. Of course, he lost the interest because it is tedious, somewhat boring work, and there is not much feedback. That is the problem. Ebright said, in all the time I did it, he laughed. Only 2 butterflies I had tagged were recaptured, and they were not more than 75 miles from where I lived. The tagging the butterfly slowly stopped by him. Then in the 7th grade, he got a hint of what real science is. When he entered a country science fair, science exhibition, and he was very much impressed by that, and he enjoyed that science exhibition. It was really a sad feeling to sit there and not get anything while everybody else had won something. In the exhibition, so many people are doing so many experiments. Ebright said, I couldn't do anything. His entry was simply slides of frog tissues. There was not any moving experiments or real experiments, simply slides. So he was not happy, which he showed under a microscope to the people. He realized that the winners had tried to do real experiments, not simply make a neat display. He made a neat display, that's all. Already the competitive spirit that drives Richard Ebright was appearing. I knew that for the next year's fair, I would have to do a real experiment. He had a conviction. He said, the subject I knew most about was the insect work I had been doing in the past several years. So he wrote to Dr. Woolhart ideas, and back came a stack of suggestions for experiments. The scientist, the book writer, sent him many suggestions for experiments. Those kept Ebright busy all through high school and led to prize projects in country and international science fairs. For his 8th grade project, Ebright tried to find the cause of a viral disease that kills nearly all monarch caterpillars. He was studying about the diseases that disturb the life of caterpillars every few years. Ebright thought the disease might be carried by a beetle. So he tried raising caterpillars in the presence of beetles. He was doing experiment. I didn't get any real results, he said, but I went ahead and showed that I had tried the experiment. This time I won. The next year his science fair project was testing the theory that viceroy butterfly and copying monarchs, the 2 different butterfly, beside it's given in the square box, both the designs of monarch butterfly in the top and viceroy butterfly at the bottom. See the picture. And he was doing that. I want to show the next year his science fair project was testing the theory that viceroy butterflies copy monarchs. The theory was that viceroys butterflies, the kind of butterflies, look like monarch butterflies because monarchs don't taste good to birds. It's not tasty. Viceroys on the other hand do taste good to the birds. So the more they look like monarchs, the less likely they are to become a bird's dinner. The birds are eating because they are tasty. Ebright's project was to see whether in fact birds would eat monarchs. He found that a starling would not eat ordinary bird food. It would eat all the monarchs it could get. Ebright said later, research by other people showed that viceroys probably do copy the monarch. This project was placed first in the zoology division and 3rd overall in the country science exhibition fair. Okay. Today let me stop here. That's the first part, ending in page number 35, dear children. Please go through the lesson as my video is not supporting. Page number 36 and 37, 2 more pages are there. I will be completing the lesson next week. We have running short of time too. Let us wait and see whether what government is doing. Page number 36 and 37, you yourself go through. Next week I will teach you in my YouTube. All the best. All the best.